Yeah, thank you. Namaste, Namaskaram, and a very warm welcome to all your respected scholars, distinguished guests, and faculty members, researchers, and dear participants. Today, we are very privileged to have a fascinating lecture on Nakshatra, as described in Vedanga Jyotish and also in ancient Jain scriptures. The study of Nakshatra occupies a unique place in intellectual and spiritual tradition in India from the time of beginning when we started thinking. In the Vedic tradition, particularly in Vedang, we all know Vedang छह हैं शिक्षा व्याकरण कल्प निरुक्त Chand and Jyotish, particularly in Jyotish, Nakshatra served as the important marker for understanding the time, the celestial movements, uh, rituals, and as well as the calendars. At the same time, ancient Jain scriptures also contains the valuable references to astronomy, cosmology, and as well as celestial observation, offering another rich perspective of understanding this nakshatra system. The topic provides us with a very excellent opportunity to explore how the different knowledge traditions of ancient India observed and also to develop a very sophisticated system for understanding the whole cosmos. It also helps us to appreciate the scientific culture and philosophical dimensions of Indian astronomical heritage. So we have with us a very esteemed speaker. Uh, we have with us Sri Pankaj Kumar Shah ji, who is prominent international consultant and author. He holds a degree in mechanical engineering and nuclear engineering as well as in MBA. In his professional career, he is specialized in the design of nuclear reactor vessel and other critical power plants components. Beyond his engineering career, Mr. Shah has dedicated decades of Jain leadership and scholarship. He served as the director of Pathshala and chairman of the board of Jain Center of Greater Boston. As a researcher and author, Mr. Shah bridged ancient scriptures with modern science. His book, Bridging the Cosmos, proved the ancient Jain Acharyas understood the Earth precession at the early of 300 BCE and scientifically dated the birth of Tirthankar Mahavir Swami. So with a very short introduction of topic and our speaker. I warmly welcome you, sir. So over to you, please.
Thank you all. Thank you. I'm so happy to get this opportunity to present a kind of a summary of the book that I had written a few years ago. The book title is Bridging the Cosmos. And why I call Bridging the Cosmos, I will bring that thing later in the book. My son was reviewing my book. He was my editor of the book. And after he edited book, then I asked him what should be the title. He said, Dad, the title should be the Bridging the Cosmos. You are bridging the Surya Siddhant based astronomy and the Vedanga Jyotish astronomy. So Jain astronomy is a link between the Vedanga based astronomy and the Surya Siddhant based astronomy. So just call it a Bridging the Cosmos. So anyway, so I would like to start my talk with a PowerPoint presentation. So let me see if I can manage to share my screen. And let me click the PowerPoint file. See if I can.
You have to click the share button, sir. Because
share.
If you have already opened the PowerPoint, click the share button.
Yeah, already, okay?
Yeah.
Great, yeah. Are you all seeing the file?
Not yet. So you have to share slide, then you will able to see.
I already, Alok bhai, just you start. I think I just don't want to waste any time, So can you take over, give me the audio, and you please do the presentation. Can you do that? I already clicked the share screen.
No, I have started.
Okay, you have started. Okay, great. So let me, okay, next please. Next. I would like to acknowledge uh, before before I start my presentation, before I run out of the time, it is important to acknowledge the 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 people and the institution that helped me make this research possible. I would like to acknowledge Dr. Raja Ram Mohan, a Canadian engineer. He was the first person who wrote, who prepared a book on Jain astronomy, and that book, I mean, that research was funded by the Jaina Academic Liaison Committee. And the book, I was the peer reviewer of this book called Zero Point of Jain Astronomy. When I reviewed his book, that gave me a inspiration to continue his work uh, and do additional research. Another person who really helped me, I mean, his professor, late Professor Narhari Achar. Uh, he's the one who did a very a pioneer work on dating of Mahabharata. And when I listened his lecture at University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth, and that talk was organized by Dr. Balram Singh, and his talk also gave me the inspiration to continue some research on Jain astronomy. So Balram Singh, Dr. Balram Singh, thank you so much. And I'm so happy that you are you are in the audience. Thank you. Then I would like to acknowledge the software that I use is from the Kyoto University. This is a wonderful software, incredibly accurate software that can date the Indian as months to the present era of present system of calendar. On vice versa, if no, with the current given the date, it can backdate in terms of Indian months for at least until for at least 3000 BC until the present era, and it includes also the Adhik Mas type approach in the Indian calendar. Highly accurate calendar. And without this calendar from the Kyoto University by Dr. I would not have been able to conduct this research. This software was introduced to me by late Professor Narhari Achar. Next, please. Can I click next, or you can click the next? Okay. So these are the topics I will quickly go over this. Vedanga Jyotish Nakshatra system, Jain Nakshatras system, solstices and equinoxes data in Vedanga Jyotish, and similarly solstices and equinoxes data in Jain Jyotish also. Dating of Vedanga Jyotish as composed by Sage Lagat. We'll talk about the monumental contribution of Sage Lagat in the later part of the lecture. Solstices and equinoxes data in Jain scripture. So we'll be comparing. The most important part of this presentation is comparing the solstices and equinoxes data between the Vedanga Jyotish and the Jain scriptures. And by comparison of these two sets of data, we will learn the Indian scholars, Indian astronomers, they knew the precession of the Earth as early as 1500 BC to or even 2000 BC. Then I also used this software by Kyoto University to date the Tirthankar Mahavir Swami and some of the Jain scriptures. So when Professor Narhari Achar, when he used this software by Kyoto University to date Mahabharata, so I thought, let me use the same software to date Tirthankar Mahavir Swami. Tirthankar Mahavir Swami is a 24th Tirthankar in Jain tradition, is last and 24th Tirthankar. Another important part, what I noticed during all this research, the current system of Indian astronomy, Indian astrology using 27 nakshatras, it just doesn't fit anymore. It's a time to revise the current nakshatras boundaries and what it should be based on my research. So this is I think the two important part of my presentation are comparing the solstices and equinoxes data between these two traditions, and then as a result, the Indian astronomer will learn about the precession of the Earth. That's one of the important part. Equally, second important part is that it is based on my research. I think it is a time to revise the current system of 26 nakshatras and their boundaries. So these are the two important aspects of my research. Next, please. So just what is astronomy? I don't want to spend, I think to understand the record and predict the motions of the sun, moon, and planets with respect to some ancient Indian tradition had 28 nakshatras. The current astrology is based on 27 nakshatras. So anyway, so like for example, when we talk about the conjunction of the sun and moon with the nakshatras, in the entire presentation, we'll talk about the conjunction of the sun and moon with the nakshatras only. We are not bringing any other planets in this presentation. So again, the conjunction means the lineup of the sun with a specific nakshatras. Equally, also the lineup of the moon with the specific nakshatras, and also the combination of sun lining up with a specific nakshatra, and at the same time, moon also lining up with another specific nakshatras. Just for an example, on Diwali day, the moon is in a Swati nakshatra, and it is also Amavasya day. Similarly, on the Makar Sankranti days, the sign of Capricorn also enters the Makar, the zodiac constellation. So can we see the entire slide, please? Maybe I don't see on my screen. Could you shrink it, please? Could you shrink the slide so we can read the line, bottom line, please?
1 minute, sir.
Hello?
We had to stop here, then we had to start it again.
Alok,
Because
you can remove the slideshow for the whole screen.
1 minute.
Or to shrink it.
Or you want me to start from my screen, or
No,
or you
no,
can?
no.
Okay.
I will do it.
Sure. Okay. Could you expand it maybe? So, okay.
Some things you have arranged such that we are not able, if we are doing the full screen, then something is missing.
I see. Would you like me to see can I try my screen and see if it's a little better? Otherwise, we'll continue. You want me to share the screen? Let me see.
Dr. Saab, please share from your screen. Slides from your screen.
Okay, and share screen.
Try once from your screen.
Okay, just a second. Zoom notes. Can you see my presentation here?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, can you all see the screen here?
Yes.
All
Yes.
of me? All of
Yes.
me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
You
good.
can do it the full screen also, sir.
Yeah, I did the full screen here. Just a second. Let me do the just
Slides.
second. Just full screen.
Slides.
Right. Just a second.
The
So,
bottom
yeah.
of the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. From beginning here. Okay. Are you all? Can you all see the screen now?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Better. Okay. Next one. So here, another example we like to notice to understand, record, and predict the motions uh, of the sun, moon, and planets. Again, my presentation doesn't cover any planets with respect to 27 or 28 nakshatras. So this presentation is kind of based on my book that I published, and title of this book is Bridging the Cosmos. I would like to give you another example of the astronomy, and like Ram Navami, we know this 9th day of the Shukla Paksha in the month of Chaitra. Similarly, the Krishna Janmashtami, birth of Lord Krishna, it also has the nakshatras defined with the tithi. Similarly, the Lord Mahavir is on the Amavasya of Ashovat and in the Swati Nakshatra. So all important dates in the Hindu and Jain traditions, we always use only the nakshatras and nakshatra and also the phase of the moon in terms of tithi. So tithi and the conjunction with the nakshatra that identify the time of the year generally. Now, typically Jain astronomy, as I defined, as bridging the cosmos, based on the astronomy tradition, the Vedic period is the period before the sage Lagad. So all the astronomy, even before the sage Lagad, we call it a Vedic time. The Vedanga Jyotish period. The Vedanga Jyotish period is the all the knowledge that brought by sage Lagad. The ancient Jain period is like from Mahavir Swami, Tirthankar Mahavir Swami, to 480 time. We call it, there's a bridge between the Vedang period and the Siddhantika period. When I call Siddhantika period, is mainly a Surya Siddhanta period. There are so many Siddhant in Indian astronomy, but the most popular Siddhant in astronomy is a Surya Siddhant. And that was composed around 480 time. We don't know the composer of the Surya Siddhanta. So many astronomers, ancient astronomers did contribute in current version of the Surya Siddhanta. Again, as I'm repeating here, only data used in these presentations are about the nakshatra. In scientific call, nakshatras are the small constellation. They are not as big as zodiac 12 zodiac or the Rasi constellation. The nakshatras, in astronomy language, we call it asterism, a small group of stars. And the nakshatras in conjunction with the planet, sun and moon. As I said, we are not bringing any planets conjunction in my presentation. In fact, there are very few data available. any planet conjunction with the nakshatra. Now, here I have listed many Jain scriptures.
Can you please silence those people?
Okay, here is the list of the Jain scriptures that I used for my research. Again, the most important part is the 45 books of Agams, and another set of are the Tilokpannati and the Trilokshar, and the 45 books of Agams. Those were the main sources of my research. The 45 books of Agam are primarily for the Svetambar tradition, and Tilokpannati and Trilokshar are primarily for the Digambar. But again, there are no differences in astronomy data in all the Jain scriptures. And these are the books I have. I do own all the hard copies of all the books that I used in my presentation. So anyway, these are the books of By the way, I would like to also acknowledge one of the very brilliant Jain scholar, Professor Lakshmichand Jain. His contribution to the Jain cosmology and Jain astronomy and translating many of the Prakrit Granth into English. This is a Hindi translation of from the Svetambar tradition of Jain astronomy called Ganitani Yoga. Similarly, this is also an Hindi and English translation of the Svetambar called Jambudip Pragnapti Sutra. Another scripture that I use is a Kalpa Sutra, one of the most auspicious and sacred granth in the Svetambar tradition. It also had many astronomy data connected with the life of Tirthankar Mahavir Swami, 24th Tirthankar. Now here, this is very important slide. These are the software that I use. Planetarium software, Stellarium. And just to verify the results of the Stellarium, I occasionally use the SkyMap Pro. But equally important was the Panchang software developed by the Kyoto University. This is the software I talked about that converts the Hindu Tithis into the current Christian era AD or BC. And I also extensively used the NASA generated data from the ephemeris. The NASA generated data, I can project equinoxes and solstices data up to the 4000 BC unto the current time. So I extensively use the NASA data. And all this 4 software I used for my research. Again, are there any differences in astronomy data across different Jain tradition, different Jain? No. All the Jain said there are no differences in the astronomy data. We talked about this. Oh yeah, this is important. The Vedanga Jyotish, Sage Lagat, his monument, of course, in terms of the length of his contribution is minuscule, but that establishes the foundation of the Indian astronomy by the Jain Sage Lagat. And we'll discuss when the dating of Sage Lagat is the part of my research. When Sage, the Vedanga Jyotish as composed by Sage Lagat, when were they composed? That is a part of my research. Then another brilliant astronomer, Aryabhat, Varamihir, Brahmagupta, Bhaskar II. Now, I would like to draw your attention. There are many Jain Acharyas who contributed to Jain astronomy from 580, say around 580 to 1200 AD areas. Those scriptures, those granth by the Jain Acharyas they are not translated into other languages. So maybe in the future, I request whoever listening, maybe explore. I have the list of all the Jain Granth on astronomy composed between 500 AD and around to almost present era. So that needs to be researched. Sage Lagad, his Vedang Jyotish is mainly in the two sections, Rig Veda Jyotish and Yajur Veda Jyotish. So anyway, I would admit that all my research, I have not gone to the ground, the roots of these scriptures. I have used the translation of the second and third generation of the translation. So I don't want to say that I have studied the original scripture of Sage Lagat. I have studied the English translation of different scholars.
Maybe it's not your brushing. It's your switch.
Now, Sage Lagat Vedang Jyotish, it was again mainly for the timekeeping. When Sage Lagat composed, his main purpose was to make sure the yagnas are conducted at the right celestial event, when the lineup of the sun and moon and nakshatras are the right place. So timekeeping based on nakshatra system, lunisolar calendar. So one of the most important to me, the most important part that I use from the Sage Lagat is the data of solstices and equinoxes data in the Vedang Jyotish. These are the most important data, the solstices and equinoxes data. So I assume that there are, I assume most of you know, there are 2 solstices and 2 equinoxes data every year. The longest day in a year, shortest day in a year, and there are 2 days where the daytime and the night times are equal. So those 4 days in a calendar are the most important days for astronomy purpose. The 2 days of wind, 2 days of solstices, and 2 days of equinoxes. And this data are recorded in the Vedanga Jyotish as well as in Jain scriptures. Now, again, I need to, let me just read it. The Nakshatra names are from the Jain Agams, which are identical to Vedanga Jyotish names. Now, each nakshatra, let me again bring it to your attention. The Vedanga Jyotish, it names all the nakshatras based on the stars. So each nakshatra has a main star, but the Vedanga Jyotish doesn't list any coordinates. So the first time the coordinates were, the Surya Siddhant has the coordinates of all the main stars of each nakshatra. And a British astronomer, when he translated Surya Siddhant, then he also identified the coordinate system that Lagat may have used. Again, I don't want to go into the technical detail of the coordinate system of the Sage Lagat, which was a polar coordinate system, and the present day system of ecliptic coordinate system and the equatorial coordinate system. So a British scientist, Edmund Burgess, he correctly identified the main stars of all 28 nakshatras. That's a very major contribution. Let me skip this. Please don't try to read this. Just listen to me. I will summarize it very quickly. the Vedanga Jyotish, early Vedanga Jyotish and Jain scripture, they have 28 nakshatras. And the Surya Siddhant identified all the nakshatras by the polar coordinate systems. In the Surya Siddhant, the 20 nakshatra spans have uniform sizes, and the remaining 8 nakshatra, they have varying sizes. The dating of the Surya Siddhant is considered around 400 AD. Now, another fact that you all may be surprised, the Vedanga Jyotish or the Jain scripture, Jain astronomy or the Vedanga astronomy have no mentions of Rashis or the zodiac system. Most scholars, they now admit the Rashi system, may have come to India in 200 or 300 AD time, when the Greek culture and Greek knowledge, some of the astronomy of the Greek knowledge was also brought to India in terms of so that is the time the Rashis and the zodiac system were introduced to Indian astronomy. But please keep in mind, the pure Jain Vedanga Jyotish and pure Jain original Vedanga Jyotish and original Jain astronomy or astrology have no mention of any Rashis. They all Vedanga Jyotish and Jain scriptures are mainly based on 28 or 27 nakshatra system, not on the Rashi systems. Now here, what I have done, I have divided the Brahman, the Akash, in the 28 nakshatras based on the spans as given in Jainism. In Jainism, all 28 spans have different sizes. What I mean, the Brahman, let's call it 360 degrees. So in Jainism, all 28 nakshatra sizes, which covers the 360 degrees. So each nakshatra have a different size. Now the arrows you see here, they point to the main stars in each nakshatra. So this is based on 28 nakshatras and 28 main stars based on the Jain scriptures. Let me see if I can. Sorry. Okay, can somebody help me? Can you shrink it? So I want to see the whole screen. Alok ji?
Yes, sir.
Can you shrink? You know what I suggest, you take control of the size, and if you can, I want to see the entire slide that I cannot show. I cannot shrink it from my computer here. Is there another way of?
So we are able to see your full screen, sir.
Oh, you are okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe the
That's
he
okay.
has to
Anyway, I will
change, he has
continue.
to change the display because maybe he's seeing so many other pictures. That's why he's not able to see all of it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But I cannot see the. Anyway, that's all right. Let's continue. I'm also showing. The current system of Indian Jyotish system is based on 27 equal size nakshatras. So what current system has done, maybe last more than 1,000 years, from 500 or 600 ADs, they dropped the Abhijit nakshatra from the system. They instead of using 28 nakshatra, the current system used 27 equal size nakshatra. So the 27 equal size nakshatra will fit into 12 rasis. So each rasis has now 2.25 nakshatras. So this is a kind of force fitting. This is a force fitting of 27 nakshatra into 12 zodiac constellation. And by dropping the Abhijit Nakshatra, by the way, Abhijit Nakshatra is considered the most important Nakshatra in Jain tradition. But anyway, next please. Again, I briefly discuss the 4 important days in a calendar. The first equal length day comes in March, Phagan Mas. The longest day comes in June, or in Indian calendar, Jaith Mahina. The second equal day comes in September, Bhadrava Mahina, and shortest day comes in December, Maksar Mahina. So these are the first 4 important days in astronomy. And also the Vedanga Jyotish has the data for all four days for many, many years. I will quickly read this. The dating of Vedanga Jyotish remains a central focus in the history of Indian astronomy. Its record of equinoxes and solstices allow for comparative analysis to track the precession of the equinoxes. Ancient Jain scriptures provide a valuable second data set regarding these celestial events. So, Vedanga Jyotish has one set of data of equinoxes and solstices, but you need the second set of data to see the effect of precession. What is a precession? In a simple term, when the stars behind the sun, they are slowly shifting. That's what is, in a simplest term, is called precession. So the Vedanga Jyotish have a list of the conjunction between the sun and the nakshatras for those 4 dates. And Jain scriptures also have the data of these 4 days. But in both tradition, both Vedanga Jyotish tradition and the Jain tradition, we don't know what time frame those data may have been taken. So that is the most very important part, the central focus of the history in Indian astronomy. So understanding these 2 sets of data, why these 2 sets of data are different? Because the sun is moving. The stars behind the suns are shifting, and that is the precession of the Earth. And this shifting of the stars behind the sun was also recorded much earlier, even before the sage Lagad. So, but sage Lagad recorded this data, and Jain scripture recorded this data that help us to understand when these data were taken. But some of the with the data, they do have a scattered references of the shifting of the stars behind the sun, but no data are given. But at least they knew the stars behind the suns were shifting long before the sage Lagad. Now, let's see. I cannot say, okay. Now, in the Vedanga Jyotish, they present the 5-year data of, let's see, what is this? I cannot see the title. Is it the, that they, what a question, can you read the first line of this slide, please?
The dating of summer solstice in Jain scriptures.
I can, now the summer solstices data are presented in Vedanga Jyotish for 5 straight years. year 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In the terms of month, the summer solstice is when the sun was in Pushya Nakshatra, the moon was in Abhijit Nakshatra. The next consecutive year, this is the data of the summer solstices. Third consecutive year, again, we have the data, fourth consecutive 5 years. So, so you all probably should know the sun doesn't move quickly. Sun moves only 1 degree every 70 years, So the sun will remain in one nakshatra for nearly for 800 to 1,000 years, where the moon runs and runs. And so having this data for 5 consecutive years, how do we know when this data were taken? That was the goal of one of the goal of my research, when this data were taken. We know that this data were collected by Sage Lagat, but when? So this data may have been taken much earlier than Sage Lagat, but that was the research. I used all the software by enormous steps of iteration to identify. Let's go to the next slide here. I will not go into the detail of my process. So here, to match this data, it requires extensive amount of iterations. Once you coincide with the 1 year of data, then the next year of data may not match with the first year data. Then you start all over again. So when you start with the matching the first and second year, the third year data may not match. Then you start all over again. So all over again. So finally, I had to find 5 years summary. For straight 5 years, the conjunction of the sun with the specific star and the conjunction of the moon with the specific star are also matching of the moon phases, and all have to match the solstice days. So again, this Panchang software developed by Kyoto University, I found it incredibly accurate. It also takes care of the Adhik Mas. So I'm just showing one typical example here. It shows the conjunction of the sun with the Pushya Nakshatra here. And here I'm also showing the conjunction of the moon with the Vishakha Nakshatra. Vishakha Nakshatra, there is a Eta Libra, and here the Pushya Nakshatra is a Delta Cancer system. So I'm showing it just a typical plot for one of the conjunction, one of the date of the solstices, the conjunction of the sun with a specific nakshatra, conjunction of the moon with the specific nakshatra. And this data was for the 10,010 BCE. So now again, I'm sorry, this is not the data from the Vedanga Jyotish. I'm taking the data from the Jain Nakshatra system. So these are actually the Jain Nakshatras data. So here, now on the left-hand side, these are the data from the Jain scriptures, which perhaps were composed around 300 BC time frame. So these are the solstices data, and this is the scientific evaluation of this data and the dating of this 5 year, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 year. So here, this dating is minus 10,012, minus 10,011 BCE, minus 10,010 BC. So these are the 5 straight years when this data did match. This is amazing. I mean, when I could match this data taken 4,000 years ago by month and the day, I was enormously amazed. I mean, I could not contain. I mean, I was so joyful that yes. So of course, the Jain scriptures were composed in 300 BC, but the data may have been taken around 1000 BC. So I'm just showing the one example of the one event. I'm not showing the example of all the other solstices and equinoxes. So all 4 data sets have to match. So this is an enormous amount of iterative effort for days and days and days, not days, but at least several days of iterative effort. Now here, this is another example of the equinoxes data here. This is the equinoxes data from the Jain scripture, data in the Jain scripture. And these are the corresponding date here. So here I came up with a slightly different time frame here. So the time frame 997, 996, 995 minus BCE. These are the BCE. So it looks like the data in Jain scripture may have been taken around the 1000 BC time frame. Just keep in mind the sun doesn't move. The sun moves so little. And this moon data are kind of repetitive. So here is, I'm showing another example. So I don't want to spend showing other example of the equinoxes data, where the conjunction of the sun with the Ashwini Nakshatra and the conjunction of the moon with the Vishakha Nakshatra. Anyway, so here, now I did the similar comparison with the Vedanga Jyotish data. So the Jain data were perhaps composed between 900 BC to 10,000, not 1000 BC, where the Vedanga Jyotish data were composed around 1300 BCE. So here the original data in the Vedanga Jyotish, and here the real date, real year, minus 12,084, 1284 BCE. Similarly, the 5 straight years. So again, this is not a surprise. All the literature that I have reviewed, the scholars, the Sage Lagath data, I have seen the varying dates from 900 BC to 1600 BC. So my date, I think I can claim that this is the most accurate date, probably. I would not mind taking the, saying that this is the most accurate dating of the Vedanga Jyotish. It was around 1300 BC time frame. And the Jain Nakshatras, Jain data were probably composed around between 900 BC to 1000 BC, and the Vedanga Jyotish data were composed around 1300 BC time frame. And this is the most accurate data here. Anyway, so I am if you look at the current data, the March equinoxes, for convenience in astronomy, we just use like 2000 AD, because there's not a whole lot of change, in the sun location, in 20 or 30, 40, 50 years, So I just use the very convenient term for 2000 AD, and I noticed I listed the March equinox and equinoxes data, and I wanted to show you the shifting of the Vedanga Jyotish, where the sun was in vernal equinox, where the sun was in autumn equinox, winter solstices, and summer solstice. You can see the sun's location in Vedanga Jyotish period, Jain astronomy period, and this is the Surya Siddhant period here, and this is the current period. So you can see the sun moves, I don't want to show all each and every calculation will match. The sun moves 1 degree nearly at every 70 years, So, and I have verified those data. So I have not listed to make the thing simple here. Now, so anyway, let's see here. Yeah, by the way, I've also used this opportunity to date Tirthankar Mahavir. In Jain tradition, there are 24 Tirthankar, and that there are 5 events in a Tirthankar's life. They are recorded in terms of astronomy. One of the event is the birth event, when they take the Diksha, then the Kevalgnan, when they become omniscient, and the Nirvan. So the Jain scriptures record these 4 important events in terms of the Nakshatras. So I use this Jain astronomy data, and I dated the Tirthankar Mahavir Swami birth year in terms of present calendar. His birth year was 19th March of 599 BC. He became the Diksha, he became a monk 569 BCE, Kevalgnan 557 BCE, and Nirvan, going to Moksha 527 BCE. And these are the corresponding nakshatras. And these are corresponding main star of them. So I also, just like Narhari Achar, he had dated Mahabharat, which was around 3000 BCE, where Tirthankar Mahavir is around 6. These are the year for the Tirthankar Mahavir's important events in his life. Now, after performing this research, I think it's time for our Indian Jyotishi, our Indian astrology. They have to revise and abandon the influence of foreign zodiacs, 27 nakshatras, 27 constellation, 12 Rasi system. We need to abandon those 12 Rasi system and 12, which are identical to 12 zodiac. Our Jyotish system should go back to the Vedanga Jyotisha of using only 28 nakshatra system. And because I will show you next, the Vedang, I will read this very quickly. The Vedang Jyotish data have 1200 BCE. Jain data may have taken 900 BCE. So I briefly describe this thing. Here I also describe this thing. Let's go to the, let me skip this part here. Yeah, let me skip this part here. Can somebody read the title of this slide, please?
Yeah, key item of the summary.
Okay. Let me go to here. I cannot read the title. Please read the title here.
A proposed ecliptic longitude boundaries for 28 nakshatra with the Abhijit.
With what? With what system?
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
There is no mention of any system here.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So this is the 28 nakshatra. It doesn't say. I'm sorry. Let's keep the neck. Here I'm trying to show. I think it looks like a using of the 28 nakshatras boundaries as presented in the Jain tradition, and these are the corresponding rasis. So you can see many of these rasis, many of these nakshatras don't quite fit the 12 rasi systems. So let's go to the next slide. Next slide, please. I will skip that. Okay, let me read this quickly. Vedang and ancient Jain astronomy have no reference to the Rasi or zodiac system. Both systems are based on 27, 28 nakshatra system. The current 27 nakshatra boundaries are force fit into 12 zodiac constellation to make it an even number of 2.25 nakshatra in one Rasi. Abhijit Nakshatra is the most important nakshatra, not only in Jainism, but it's also important in Vedanga Jyotish. It is time to bring it back into the proper importance. Instead of dropping the Abhijit Nakshatra in order to force fit, we should consider Abhijit Nakshatra, even though it's a very small nakshatra, we should include Abhijit Nakshatra into current Jyotish system and the astronomy system. In the present system, many nakshatras do not fall into their assigned boundaries. So this is another reason I'm proposing that it's time to revise these boundaries of each nakshatra into the Brahman. My proposed approach will resolve many of the discrepancies in nakshatra boundaries now. Next, yeah. So, you know what, let me, I don't have a lot of time. Here I'm trying to say, again, the same thing. You know, when I say Yavan Jatika, so this is the scripture, a Hindu scripture that indicates this 12 Rasi system, 12 zodiac system is a foreign to Indian system, Yavan Jatika. So this 12 zodiac and 12 Rasi system is not an Indian thing. It came from Greek astronomy, Greek astrology, and it is a force fit into the current system. So that is the reason I'm proposing that we bring Abhijit Nakshatra back into the system, and we use the proper boundaries of each nakshatras based on their importance. Here you can see the spacing. These are the main stars. Each arrow points to the main star of each nakshatra. You can see they are not equally spaced. You know, each nakshatra, like here, there are two nakshatras, they are very close to each other here. Here, two nakshatras are very far apart. So here, our boundaries should be based on the actual spacing of the yog taras and not randomly force fit equal sized nakshatras. So here I'm just showing the main stars of each nakshatra. So my approach is revise the current span of each nakshatra based on their assigned space, and then divide those nakshatra into the 12 rasis instead of force fitting and keeping each nakshatra 2.25 nakshatra equal to one rasi. Drop that idea, drop that foreign system, use our 28 nakshatra and use the assigned boundaries as defined in Vedanga Jyotish and the Jain astronomy. So that concludes my presentation, and I would like to add just one more thing. There are many Jain astronomy granth. Of course, they were composed much later. They were composed after 600 AD. But again, those granth needs to be translated and understood if any new contribution Jain scripture may have made into the Indian astronomy system. I thank you all for listening my presentation. I know I went kind of too fast, but I needed to bring all the important part of my research. So anyway, again, I want to conclude. The Vedanga Jyotish, based on my research, was perhaps composed around 1300 BCE, but those original data may have been another 300-400 BC older, because the sun doesn't move. Sun moves so little. So the original Vedanga Jyotish data as presented by Sage Lagat may have been taken 300-400 years before the time of Sage Lagat. That is the most important part of my research. And the Jain data, of course, they were composed around 300 BC, but the Jain Nakshatra data may have been observed around 900 BCE. That is another important conclusion of my research. And the third and the most important part of my suggestion to all the Indian Jyotishis and astronomers, drop this concept of dividing nakshatra, 27 nakshatra, use equal size 27 nakshatra to force fit into 12 nakshatra and 12 rasi, and use all 28 nakshatras as given in the Vedanga Jyotish and the Jain Jyotish, bring the Abhijit nakshatra back and divide this nakshatra span based on their span size as observed in the current sky, and revise the astrology and astronomy. Thank you all. Thank you all present listening my presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for this enlightenment and very thought-provoking presentation. And this definitely helped us to understand the concept of nakshatra was not merely the astronomical classification, but is the part of some intellectual and cultural tradition also. And you are bridging, as you mentioned that the name of your book is the Bridging the Cosmos. So you are bridging the Vedang Jyotish and Jain scripture. So it was quite interesting to listen you, and this also, reminded us that the Indian knowledge tradition, where diverse and it were interconnected to each other's different school of thoughts, and they approached in a different manners, but the study of cosmos in their own ways, but all shared in a very deep curiosity about the understanding of the universe for humanity placed within it. So I congratulate you and I thank
Thank
a lot to you. And now we will move for the discussion. If anyone has any query, comment, so please.
Okay, bye.
Ji.
Congratulations and thank you for a very scholarly presentation. I have no idea that you've been working on these for so many years. Now, you also mentioned in your talk that there is a NASA program or NASA software. How does that compare with the Jain and Vedang Nakshatras?
No, there is the NASA software that I used was to see the equinoxes and solstices by ephemeris. So NASA generated data of ephemeris. Oh, there is no mismatch between what we and NASA's data of equinox and solstice. There is a good connection between the ephemeris as presented in the NASA program and what we see equinox and solstices, because equinox and solstices data are included in the Hindu and Jain scripture, are based on the Indian calendar, but this Kyoto University software Panchang that converts the Tithis, Indian Tithis, into the current era. So there is a perfect match of when I convert those data of ephemeris data, equinox and solstices, they perfectly match.
Very good. Thank you.
Sulekh Bhai, you are the one who brought me into this field. You asked me to peer review the very first book on Jain astronomy prepared by.
So I'm the troublemaker.
No, you are the first one to ask me to peer review the book of Jain astronomy prepared by Raja Ram Mohan. So believe me,
I'm the troublemaker.
No. Until that time, my interest was only take the telescope and go outside and watch the distant galaxies and different nebulas. But by the time when you brought this, in this field, I dropped my telescope and I focus on this part. Okay. Boston is not a good place to do any observational. I brought my telescope into my basement now.
Great. Thank you, Pankaj Bhai. Thank you.
Anyone asked to other? Yeah.
Yes, this is Rasik Wagadia. Hi.
Yeah, please.
Pranam, Jai Jinendra, everyone. Pankaj Bhai, thank you for presentation. It's very interesting. Question is, who have decided why they ignore one nakshatra in fixing the all
let me
coordinates?
No. I mean the again That's what the fourth fit I call Vedanga Jyotish. They have divided. Many of the nakshatra have identical spacing, and only few nakshatra has a varying spaces. But again, they are reasonably fit. They dropped the Abhijit nakshatra because it was too small, and the 28 nakshatras cannot be divided into 12 rasis, then it will become 2.3333 nakshatra per one rasi. So in order to have a kind of even number of 2.25 rashi, 2.25 nakshatra into one rasi, hey, let's drop the smallest nakshatra. But that again, that's the only information I can contribute. And there is a story. Listen, there is a story of dropping of. There is a mythology story of why the Abhijit Nakshatra was dropped. There is a story, but I don't recall the story of Abhijit Nakshatras and connected mythology story. I don't remember now.
All right. But in mathematics, you don't ignore anything. Like pi is a 22 divided by 7. We don't ignore that 0.2333,
Right.
I'm
right,
just,
right.
All right.
Right,
Thank you
yeah.
very much. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Parna, please.
Thank you, sir, for the very nice presentation. And before your presentation, I don't know much about the Jain astronomy. But as you talked about the Vedanga Jyotish and its linked to the Jain astronomy. So much before Vedanga Jyotish, we have Yajurved, which depicts, and especially in the Krishna Yajurved, we have all the information regarding the constellations in 27 or 28 number. And there, as you specifically mentioned, Dhanishta Nakshatra, it says, Yajurved says Dhanishta is Shravishta. Its older name is Shravishta. But my question is that if Jain astronomy came after Vedanga Jyotish, so whether there is any contradiction. I mean, Jain writers developed the idea of Vedanga Jyotish, or they have some contradictions to the Vedanga Jyotish.
No, actually, there are all the deities as prescribed in Vedang Jyotish. Each nakshatra has its own deity. So Jain nakshatra system also use the identical deities. So there is no. Now there are small differences. The Vedang Jyotish, again, the Vedang Jyotish don't have the span size defined very clearly. It is the Surya Siddhant that defines the span of each nakshatra, where the Jain scripture, they identify the span of each nakshatras earlier than the Surya Siddhant. So, there's small difference. When the Surya Siddhant was compiled, they did use originally 28 nakshatras, but out of 28 nakshatras, they keep the spans of 20 nakshatras nearly, they keep 20 nakshatra have the identical spans, and the other 8 nakshatra, they had a varying span size. Whereas in Jain nakshatra system, all 28 nakshatras have a varying span size. But in spite of these differences in the span size of both the system, the Yog Tara, the main Tara, they reasonably fit into the given span. So there are some mismatch, but not big ones,
Big one. And also, sir,
So I think that was the reason I propose that, we need to assign the span of each nakshatra as we see in the sky, not in the Jain nakshatra or not in the Vedang Jyotish. Vedang Jyotish doesn't have any span, The span was brought much later into the Vedang. Vedang Jyotish has no rasis and no span, where the Jain scripture does have the span size. So again, it's time to have a more refined system now.
And also, sir, an Indian Jyotish system or astrology or astronomically, we follow lunar cycles.
Right.
And same is in the case in the Jain scriptures.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think, I suspect when I say Jain scriptures, most of the Jaina Acharyas probably they have studied probably under the Hindu Acharyas also, So when I call Jaina Acharya, they are no different than the Indian Acharyas. Could be Hindu Acharyas or Jain Acharyas is an Indian thing,
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Kumar, Dr. Rai.
Yeah, thanks for this presentation. Also, Aparna asked a similar question. So I'm just asking another question related to science. What in science we have right now two types of theory of origin. One is the steady state theory, and another one is the Big Bang theory. So similarly, I am feeling that the Jain and the Vedanga have two different types of theories for origin of the universe. So can you please comment on what specific cosmic shape were used by Vedic astronomy or the Jain astronomy, and is there any difference between the mathematical expression of Vedic astronomy and the Jain astronomy?
I think we are entering into the cosmology and probably beyond my knowledge and beyond my expertise. So I think I'm not in position to make any comment regarding. I think both system, we believe that this cosmos is eternal. Nobody, So again, I cannot comment on.
Okay, okay, thank you. Maybe that's for the different.
Sure.
But one question I have also related to this, that I read that the earlier some civilization use one sun, one moon concept. Some civilization use multiple moon, multiple sun concepts. So is there a difference in the Jain and the Vedic astronomy like that?
No, I did not study the Vedic astronomy. Just my knowledge of Vedic astronomy was only the Nakshatra system as composed by Sage Lagat. But you are right, in Jain astronomy, there are billions and trillions of stars. And Jain astronomy also there are thousands and thousands of billions of suns like this also. So, but there are a lot of disconnection also. There are some matching with the present system, that our sun is not the only sun. There are numerous suns in the cosmic, and there are the number of stars in this cosmos are infinite. That's what the Jainism is. Again, beyond that, I don't have much broader understanding or knowledge of.
No, thanks for bringing some very new perspective. So I like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Can I ask the question?
Yeah, sir, please.
So there is a difference. You mentioned Narhari Achar and Nilesh Oak. They use similar kind of softwares, but they have come up with quite a different dates. Have you looked into that, Prakashji? Nilesh Oak is still around, and you can interact with him also. So
I think I did send him a book. My book. I think I did send him a copy of my book.
Okay.
Now, I know many our scholars, they want to take our Indian civilization back into thousands and thousands of years. And in my opinion, the data they use to take our civilization, of course, is very praiseworthy for all Indians to see our civilization go back to thousands and thousands of years. But again, the data they use, to me, I cannot pinpoint, but they were not convincing to me. But Narhari Achar, I don't think he had he agreed with uh, 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 Professor. But I forgot his name. He was let's see,
Ashok.
Subhas. By the way, Subhas Cope, he has also reviewed this book. He was when I published this book through Delhi publication, Banarasi Das, Motilal Banarasi Das. They have the panel. You are by the way, you are on the panel too, Balramji Bhai. You
Yes,
are listed. You are listed as one of the panelists with Subhas Cope. So anyway, so but again, there are many scholars like Subhas Cope, they want to take civilization, but some of the data they use, I have reviewed some of this data, and I have some question also. I don't agree with some of this data.
Okay. Well, that is very good. I think we are looking forward to Pankaj Shah Nakshatras, and so you will be able to claim, that you have created this. But as far as the thousands of years is concerned, I have looked at some data from genetics,
Yeah.
and based on that genetics, there is a data that says 65,000 years ago, people were in India and they moved. I mean, their migration is also shown based on genetics. That has been published in the Western journals. And there is an article in the National Geographic suggesting that also. So the thousands of years certainly is true for humanity. The question is whether we know any of this, the knowledge that you're talking about. That is always a questionable thing. And I take all the responsibility of being wrong things because I'm already in the panel.
No. By the way, Narhari Achar, when I sent my book for his forward, he wrote 2-page long forward on this. My book is so small, but he spent good amount of time to write the 2-page long forward. And I was incredibly honored when a scholar like Narhari Achar, he writes a 2-page long forward on my book. I felt enormously blessed by Narhari Achar,
Yeah, all of you who are working in this field are really admirable. Narhari Achar, like you said, he started it. And then, Nilesh Sok is doing a wonderful job. I mean, we can differ with them and we can understand or we can modify. But the point is that somebody is doing something that was not acceptable to the Western world. All these things were not known at all. That now you are bringing, because of this, we can go back and there are softwares that will lead us to link to different kind of scholars in the ancient India. Thank you.
Again, I would like to everybody's information. When Motilal Banarasi Das, he is one of the largest publisher of the very high quality book. He has a committee called Founders. Committee. When they publish any book, scientific book, it has to go through a review by this committee. And Professor Balram Singh, he is also in this committee. So
if somebody sues them, then I will be held responsible.
Of course, I will pass the blame to you.
Sure. No, they're wonderful. I mean, they're really good friends also. So we work with them quite a bit. Yeah. Thank you.
So, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
We are on time now. We are running out of time. 10 minutes, but you are talking very excellently, and you are bridging the Vedanga Jyotish with Jain scriptures, and it's the need of ours that we have to understand that what our Jainism, Buddhism, and other school of thoughts are saying, are telling about the nakshatra, about the background, about our culture, civilization, and society. That's why then we will be able to, tell that we are the Sanatan way of living, Sanatan way of culture only. So
Of
it's
course,
the need of ours. So the persons like you are doing phenomenal job by linking, by bridging these all the things and making this civilization is Sanatan. So thank you so much for joining us in KSAS Talk. Thank you all for listening and joining us. In next month, we will come back again with a new speaker and new idea. Thank you so much. Thank you. Namaskar.